the former governor of Rivers State made a similar assertion, saying that elections are not won on social media. Now, the federal capital territory minister, Wike, has reacted to the judgment delivered by the Presidential Election Petition Court, saying election petitions are not won on social media. Wike, in an interview, stated that election petition is a special case and not propaganda. His words: "I have always told people that election petition is not like any other case. It is a special area. It is not by propaganda. It is not won on social media. It is a presentation of evidence and facts, not what you said to your supporters outside. I sat down for not less than 10 hours and to look at how the justices painstakingly took each item one by one, from the preliminary objections to the motions, down to the objections and documents and exhibits, down to substantial issues." The former Rivers State governor also said he knew the candidate of the Labour Party would not win the election. And I quote, "I know that Obi wouldn't win the election. Let me tell you the truth. I am a realist. For me, the way the election went, it was a tough election. I gave it to INEC. Yes, a younger man. People would have preferred that he won, but look at how the votes went. There is this generational change. The young people were tired. So for them, the only hope they had was to vote for Obi as a younger person compared to other candidates. But unknown to them, that is not the reality of Nigerian politics. They didn't take into cognizance that ethnicity is a factor. They didn't take into cognizance that religion is a factor. Not only competence, that is the reality of Nigerian politics." So today, I want us to look at the reality of the Nigerian politics. And the reason is because, like the former governor said, this year in the electioneering period, a lot of young people became very much interested in politics. A lot of other people became very politically conscious. And yeah, it gave the election a tough outlook because for once we went past the two-party system and we had a three-horse race, and we saw a very strong competition happen during the electioneering period. However, looking at how things have panned out, can we say that maybe some of these people who got really interested in politics did not build a solid foundation, so to say? And what am I talking about? A lot of them decided to put their structure on social media. Do you think the former governor has given a clear explanation of what the political situation is like in Nigeria? He said he's a realist and that it goes beyond just asking for competence, but it also needs other things like ethnic coloration. It needs all other things like religious coloration. It needs other things like even the political affiliation. Do you agree with him? And if you'd say yes, that is how the Nigerian political structure is indeed, and you would have to play the politics in this way, what does that mean for Nigeria's development? Because a lot of the times we argue and we say we need competent people in leadership. The reason why we are stuck where we are, or we have continually retrogressed, is because we've had leaders who have not been fit for the position of leadership. So if you say that is how the Nigerian political structure is, the question then is, what does this speak of our need for development, of our dreams to develop to the point where we stand tall amongst the Committee of Nations? And that's the conversation I want to have. And also want to also look at how effective was social media in the political space, and if it will still be a veritable tool in future electioneering seasons. It did work in 2015, I should remind you, when the APC came and, they were trying to reach out to, Nigerians. A lot of it was done on social media. For those of you who are political, what's the word now? My vocabulary has continually failed me today, but you get the picture I'm trying to paint. For those of you who are politically conscious, you would remember what history does say as at 2015. Social media played a huge role. But right now, the former governor is saying, see, social media is not politics in Nigeria. Yes, it has the effects, but that's not where the structure is. And it takes us back to, pre-election season, where there was a conversation about structure and what structure is. And so I want us to look at what the former governor said, and let's have a conversation on that as we push the conversation for development. I'm not going to talk much. I've read out what the governor stated yesterday, and I want to get your reactions on that. 19 minutes gone past the hour of 5. Hard facts with Kaladako Rubatibor. The phone lines, use these numbers: 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. I hope the phone lines work better this time around. For WhatsApp number, use 0809 030 6416. So we're looking at it. We're looking at how we can improve our participation in politics, and how we can improve our participation in governance. And the former governor stated what he thinks and what he believes is the system, and he has said that it's not basically social media. Elections are not won on social media. Election petitions are not won on social media. You need evidence to win in court. He said several other things, but I've got Daniel and Zion. I'm starting with Daniel from Imo Gate. Daniel, greetings. Welcome on the show.
Thank you, my brother Kalada.
All right.
I think I am on the same page with the former governor Wike here.
Oh, okay.
Is the reason why.
Hello, are you there,
Hello?
Daniel? Yeah, I can hear you now.
Clean people don't play Nigerian politics. You see, when Atiku picked Obi as his vice, I said it on air that even if they had won that election, they contested with Buhari at that time, that Obi will tarnish his image even if they win and he becomes vice president.
What do you
What
mean?
is happening today? Why I agree with Wike, for once, he has made it clear that for me, as if I call myself a Christian, I want to be upright. I don't know if that this is what I had, that I ought not to play Nigerian politics, that it is dirty. They know how they do it.
But is that what he has said? He has not said it is dirty.
Course,
He has just said there are other ingredients.
The young people, those who want to do it the right, that's what I understand there.
All right.
Those who want to do the right thing, the way, will we call it democracy? But if you begin to follow those things, until you get those structures, how they do things themselves, and then so far as you won, as far as you have won, then you can tell the other person, go to court.
All right.
I think that this is what I understand.
All right,
I think he made that comment.
All right, then. Thank you, Daniel. Zion from GRA. Zion, welcome. What's on your mind, please?
2019, I dabbled in real politics in Nigeria. And I learned a lot from the top-ranking political elites from Bayelsa State. Governor Wike has just stated the obvious. And what he said is teaching a particular people if only they will learn. One thing about Governor Nyesom Wike, he may be passing an information to you, but he will garnish it not to favor you directly. But it is so clear in favoring you directly, if only you can learn.
All right.
In politics, when it comes to party politics, one, you need your party structure. You need your polling unit agents. You need your party agents. You see these factors, you don't joke with it. Governor Nyesom Wike today is a political oracle. You like it or not, he has shown the world that he's the one that determined who was the next or who became the president in the 2023 election. He determined it.
No, it can't be the only one who determined. I mean, we have 36 states. All right.
He determined who became the president.
All right.
Let's tell ourselves the truth.
All right then.
So I want to use this medium to tell us, especially the upcoming politicians or aspirants or aspiring to become politicians. Former Governor Nyesom Wike is a treasure. I know Zion will not joke.
All right then, Zion, thank you.
Before I leave the floor, sir, we as a people from this region, we should look at the comments he stated. He talked about religious factor. What brought about the hashtag Yes Daddy during the campaign period?
Zion, I've got to go now. I've got to go. Thank you very much. Daniel from Transamari, quickly, please. What's on your mind?
Yeah, Kalada, good evening.
Yeah, quickly.
Kalada, I just needed to focus on the statement of Wike. If not, I completely don't want to believe that there's someone who is in practice law for how many years.
Yeah, let's focus. Okay.
But let me just focus on the Wike statement. Canada, as far as I'm concerned, former Governor Wike is wrong. The reason is simple. If they say ethnicity, tribal structure, as he said, why not INEC as an institution to allow IRF transmission to work?
Daniel, I'm sorry, I would have to cut you short. I've just checked my time. Commercial break.
Salem University Lokoja.
Axo 92.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Kalada Kuribatabo. We're looking at a particular statement credited to the former governor of Rivers State, Wike, saying election tribunal are not won on social media, elections are not won on social media, that it actually takes a bit more than just competence and having a good character to winning elections in Nigeria, and that the Nigerian political structure requires you to play, to the tune of religion, play to the tune of ethnicity, play to the tune of political affiliation. And in that way, you can then win elections. And what I think the governor or former governor was trying to say is you have to create a relationship across board, because you have to take into cognizance the ethnic nationalities in the various parts of the country and form an alliance. You have to take into cognizance the religious or the various religious organizations and form an alliance. And you then can win elections. So he says, do you agree? And if you say yes, you do, what does this then mean when we talk about development in Nigeria? Because we always say leadership is the bane of our lack of development or our not developing. So if the leadership have always been the problem, why then don't we have a more credible means or tool in selecting who our leaders are? So what do I know? I'm just going to throw the phone lines open and yet what your thoughts are concerning this. Clinton is calling from Bori, but before I take Clinton's call, 0817-923-0002 is the first number to ring the studio with, and the second one is 0817-923-0003. Clinton from Bori, welcome. Let's hear your thoughts, please.
Yeah, Kalada. Good evening to you.
Greetings, welcome.
Yeah, I agree completely with what Wike said.
Okay.
Because this man relies so much on his media presence. His campaigns were centered around the media without having a formidable structure at the grassroots. And that's what the governor is saying. You have to form alliances. What are your structure? What base do you have? And religion played a major role in the last election. The Muslims wanted a Muslim brother. The Westerners also, that tribe, tribe region, played a role too. And that's why Peter Obi lost. So I believe going forward, because he has not gotten a structure, I believe he has gotten this sympathy from the youth. So it should go beyond the youth, getting those leaders in those other tribes so that it cannot form a formidable structure going into the next election, because I believe it was his force in this last election.
All right, then. All right, thank you, Clinton. So if you... I was going to ask you one more question, but it's fine. Kajitan from Owerri, welcome.
Yeah, Kaji calling from Owerri.
All right, then.
See, the reason why I see this country of us as a drama. Thomas Wike knew all this, and he failed during the primaries in PDP. And he's not telling us the basic requirements for winning election nationally in this country. With technology, we can collect votes from every polling unit. Even there are some polling units in the north that Obi won. There are some polling units in the west that Obi won. And the 7 years a week, we will run the River State election. It's not trying to deceive us. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your take there. Mark Landy, welcome from Bias State.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kalada.
Yeah, welcome.
I want to say that first and foremost, I want to thank Nigerian citizens for their patience and the way we look at the present democratic systems of governance in this country.
All right.
I also want to see Nigeria as one of the richest countries in the whole world because of the natural resources that we have. Livestock, cash crops, and every other thing. Topaz, amethyst, birite, bitumen, these are materials that can be put to productive use. But Nigeria has been living on importation of goods and commodities because of the system of governance. Democratic system is on one side, autocratic system is on the other side, federative system is on the other side, bureaucratic system is on the other side. every system of governance is being played in our democratic system, yes, there's no problem. I want to thank the judiciary system the way they handle these things, because the upper chamber and lower chambers have already called cabinets on board, and the system is moving slowly, and we are at the period of fuel scarcity, subsidies, gas, and all these things. If the Nigerians will come on the street, my dear, there will be massive slaughter, and we'll reduce our population. I want to thank them for the way they looked at the situation and every other thing. But I would say that this present administration, this present democratic system that is taking over governance, should look at strong institutions that will enable citizens fight for their rights.
So you're saying strong institutions
that will create social welfare and every other thing that will make the citizens assess credit to look at productivity.
All right then.
These their cashless, this money they want to share and rights and all those things. CBN and other banks can access people's accounts. If 50,000, 100 is transferred to every other account in a simple way, people can use their cash for things. But now the palliative system and other systems they are trying to do, things will just go around few systems, and it's beyond the profile in a few years that they have done A, B, C, D. So I want to beg governance, social welfare fund cannot be accessed by citizens. So there are a lot of things that is affecting the democratic system.
All right, thank you very much. McClandy, I've got to go now.
Of goods and commodities. Garlic is a product. Somalia run the economy with revenue alone for their infrastructures, good road, and all that is cow. They use cow as a source of revenue for revenues.
McClandy, thank you very much.
We have a lot that can be put to production.
I'm sorry, I've got to let you go. Daniel from Transamadi, welcome. What's on your mind, please?
Oh, Canada, good evening. As I'm saying, I do not agree with Wike.
Okay.
As far as Daniel is concerned, I don't like it when politicians bring the issue of tribalism, religion as an excuse why people should not win the election. Because over the years, this has been a channel in which they used to divide people. In 2023, what social media does for Nigeria, they unite Nigerians. One of the elections will have high level of people registering and collecting their PVC.
All right.
One of the largest turnouts in the history of this country. But as I said, maybe the politicians will begin to explain to us what they mean by structure, because maybe they use that structure in which they understand, make sure they vote people and people vote. Look like you do not count. Look like vote if you do not count. Because if not, I don't see a reason why every election someone will be telling me structure. And you cannot explain to me what do you mean by structure, because the structure I should know is the structure of the people. Because when you have an election, the people should come and vote. Choose who have to govern them, either as a president, as a governor. But consistently, politicians will tell you tribalism and the structure. And this structure look like there is really working because of what? The attitude of some of these electoral officers. If you take it to judiciary, it's tribunals do not want on social media. I don't know why every one of them are so upset with social media. Is social media not means of communication? And anybody threatening about say that no. It's all about what they want. It's all about their mind that's saying there. And if you feel threatened about it, then something is wrong. As far as I'm concerned, we are watching and seeing, because what social media has done is that they are proving the institution of INEC so many times wrong this year. They are proving the institution of judiciary, and everybody is really interested in what is going to happen in judiciary. We are wanting to see how
Daniel,
thank you very much.
Daniel, before you go, I would like to point something to you. Yes, social media may have, piqued the interest of a lot of people, but when it comes to actually playing, and politics is being played all over the world, by the way. It's been played in the United States, in the UK, in Germany, in all over the world. So he's saying that politics goes beyond just piquing your interest and you participating. It goes into playing the game of politics, and that's what it means by forming alliance based on religious and ethnic values.
So, Canada, are you not saying to me...
I'm not saying, I'm just explaining.
Okay. For example, I don't think any of these candidates do not find alliance with so many religion and tribe. But voting your leader should not be because it's from my state.
Okay.
I don't think that should be the condition. The condition have to be do you have the ability to lead as a leader? And when you have it, where you come from, a region you worship, will not matter for anybody.
All right, then.
But as I said, politicians use this language to divide people, and I'll be benefiting from it. And I don't want to hear it, and I don't want to be part of it.
Okay.
Because I believe Nigeria should be for all, and we have a right to choose who governs us, not where he comes from
Daniel,
or what he
Daniel,
believes.
I've got to go. I've got to go now. Thank you very much. I've got one other caller. Hello. Welcome. You want to stay anonymous. What's on your mind? Are you there? Hello. All right, I guess the person is not active. I've got a commercial break coming up yet again, so I'm just going to quickly go through some of the messages. This one says, for me, it is not about whether I agree with the former governor or not. With this realism, just like many in this country, Nigeria will never grow or be developed since competence is secondary. AK from Igruta. Let's see. The former governor is an epitome of all that is wrong with Nigerian politics. Much moving on. This one says, how did Wike determine who became president? People can talk. I mean, Wike said, he played a major role, and we've had that in the political part of our national discourse, that, he played too big a role in Tinubu becoming president. We've had that. I guess that's what they're referring to. But let's go to this one. Says, I think I believe the former governor of Rivers State. He stated the obvious, what has been playing behind the scene for long, unfairness and injustice towards... Okay, all right. Solomon from Igoche, that's the much I can read about your message. This one says, I may agree on the ethnic and religious correlation of Nigerian political structure, which couldn't have played a role if the electorates were scammed by the so-called technical glitch, not to upload the presidential result on IREV, even as reps and senate's result uploaded worked at the same time, which is why the country is where it is still today. For the social media stuff, yes, election petitions are not won on social media. Nobody says that it does, as most Nigerians already knew now where it is actually won and those to play roles. Okay, you don't have proof to that. But hey, let's even talk about IREV. Do I have time for that? I'm just going to quickly mention it. I guess that's where the structure is. That's what he was referring to. Having polling unit agents on ground, I guess that's also what the court did mention, and a lot of lawyers have said the same. Because if you had the structure, I do not know. I'm not speaking for any of them. Let's see. If you I've seen your message. I will read it after now, but I've got guests in the studio and it's time for me to step on the brakes. I will be back and I will step on the accelerator when I'm back. Are you chasing me?